ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ परब्रह्मणे विद्महे शिवतत्त्वाय धीमहि तन्नो मोहन प्रचोदयात्. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to yet another session on Hello Life, where we are traveling. We are taking an auspicious journey, an incredible journey from outwards towards inwards. Yesterday, we spoke about how various masters operate, and most importantly, on the aspects of them taking the pain from us, and at the same time, how they have very categorically and most practically, for our witness sake, have segregated between pain and suffering. And our exercise was to observe whenever we feel we are suffering, to detach ourselves from the suffering. By that way, we are detaching the brain. Today, we are going to look at a very different subject altogether. I'm going to start today's session with a shloka. It is Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve pashyani, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, magachit dutka bhatkavet. The simple essence of this mantra is, or the shloka is, may all beings be happy. May all beings do not have any suffering. May all being continues to experience an auspicious life. That is the simple meaning of this particular mantra. May all beings be happy. May they all be free from illness, and they behold the auspicious part. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kachchit dutka bhatkavet. Today, we are going to discuss on the aspects of beings. Sanatana Dharma, the codified righteous path, does not distinguish between beings. If we had seen this from the beginning, Sanatana Dharma always emphasizes on one aspect, that's the Advaitic principle as well, which is one consciousness that runs in all. So, in a way, we are all connected, right? The rishis or sages, they did not differentiate between the beings. The cow was always in prayers. Gomata was always in prayers. Kamadenu, the celestial cow, was brought down from the realms, from higher realms. The cobra or the snake was always worshipped in prayers. In fact, there are specific temples focused purely on Naga Deva Devatas. The stray dog that is sitting outside the temple, there are many instances, if you see, people always appreciate it, they always feed it. Of course, nowadays we see people throwing stones at them and discarding them and whatnot. But traditionally, Sanatana Dharma always emphasizes that there is one consciousness that is running the complete show, right? In fact, Mohanji always calls this out, my master. He says if you look at the traditional Vedic astrology, we have 27 stars, right? We had 27 lunar stars. Every star has a tree associated, a master associated, an animal associated. The reason why Sanatana Dharma codified it this way is it is the responsibility of the person who takes birth in that particular star has a responsibility to look after that animal, worship that sage, look after that particular tree. So, if each person care for that specific being, what happens? ecology thrives. Then, this way, we can very clearly see that the conservation aspect was not a separate one. We didn't had any NGO, charity organization, or any other institutions to come and conserve. Constitution is so beautifully woven in the spiritual life itself. That's how Sanatana Dharma had made it easy, because it's a practical way of existence, you see. It is no different from what we are establishing as a truth, because Sanatana Dharma is the truth. So, 27 stars, person taking birth on a star has a responsibility for that particular rishi, for that particular tree, and for that particular animal. Now, you can go and, in case if you know what your birth star is, then it becomes easy for you to figure out what your tree is and you can embrace it. There is actually a meaning to it, because the more you are connected and attuned to it, they all share the energies, you see, and they help in levitating your energy as well. It's not purely about the conservation. If you selfishly look at it, you get benefited by looking after these aspects as well. So, very important for us to identify and follow that principle that has been established. We said all beings are one. How has this been embraced traditionally? To understand this, let's start again during the Vedic period, from Mahabharata period. This is towards end of Mahabharata, that phase where Pandavas have won. Now they are like, okay, the yuga is coming to an end. We have nothing to do with earth anymore. We want to ascend. They start walking during the Himalayan ranges. Slowly, one by one, they start falling away. Nakula Sahadeva goes away, Bhima goes away, Draupadi goes away, Arjuna goes away. Then the only one who is continuing to walk is the eldest of all. He is walking towards the gates of heaven, right? Now, there is a chariot that comes. Devendra sends a chariot to Yudhishthira. He says, Yudhishthira, why are you walking? You have already, for all the good deeds that you have done in this lifetime, because Yudhishthira was considered as a perfect synonym for dharma. He never swayed from dharma, or he stood for righteousness always. So, Yudhishthira, in that context, was automatically reserved a seat in Brahmaloka. He had the celestial chariot come and he was ready to go. But Yudhishthira put in a condition to Devendra. He said, I can't go by myself, because there was another dog that was following Yudhishthira. When the five brothers and Draupadi, they were making the journey, the dog also joined the journey. It also embraced the journey, kept walking. And Yudhishthira said, until you allow the dog to come to the heaven, I am not coming, because so far it stood with me, it stood by my side. Indra says, no, dogs cannot enter heaven. Yudhishthira says, okay, then forget it, then I will not enter. If you don't give a space for this dog, which had trust in me, which had faith in me, following me ever since, then I am not coming. Hearing this, the dog transforms. Then Dharmadeva himself stands in front. The dog transforms into Dharma, or righteousness, the deity for righteousness. And he said, this is the last test that I had for you, to see if you are still holding on to the path of righteousness. And I am very, very pleased that you did not abandon. I was actually testing you whether a king would abandon the helpless even for paradise. King is given a paradise, but king did not take, because He did not want to abandon the helpless that was with him. The dog also goes to heaven. Now, let this story sink in. A person abandoning even a journey to Loka, a higher astral plane, to Swarga Loka, because he wanted the companion, the helpless being, also to come alongside. Mohanji says that the way you treat a being who cannot reward you, that is your true character. The way you treat a being that cannot reward you, there is no exchange happening, there is no give or take, like all we have with humans as transactional. When that happen, that shows your true character. So that was the first story. Let's come to the current times. Bhagawan Nityananda of Ganeshpuri, once he was delivering a satsang, then all the people who were sitting around Bhagawan, they started moving because there was a large cobra that was making its way. Bhagavan Nityananda saw the cobra. He took the cobra from the ground as if it was a baby and he patted on it, rubbed the back of King Cobra and kissed on the cobra. And then lovingly said, "Why are you by yourself here? Where are the other two? Go and bring the other two as well." And then he drops the cobra down. To everybody's surprise, the cobra goes away. And then after some time, the cobra comes back with two more people. There were three people, three cobras now in front of Bhagavan Nityananda. Bhagavan was very happy. He had a beautiful laugh on his face. And he told people around that these three are no ordinary people. These three are yogis. They took the snake form so they can do their sadhana in peace away from all the troubles of the human world. The snakes knew who Bhagavan Nityananda was. We tend to think that humans are better because we have intellect, we are superior over other beings. In reality, they are actually more superior than what we think. The snakes recognized Bhagavan. Bhagavan recognized snake. There were no walls between them. There were no egos. There was no fear. There was nothing. So, this was one account where Bhagavan Nityananda interacted with animals, showing them the love and the respect and everything. Now, there is another story of Bhagavan Nityananda, this time with a caged parrot. Bhagavan was walking his way through, and there he saw a cage that was abandoned, and there was a parrot inside. As soon as the parrot saw Bhagavan, it started dancing inside the cage. It started making beautiful noises. Bhagavan immediately recognized the parrot. He goes to the parrot, the cage, and he opens up the cage. The parrot flew right out of the cage, and then it circumambulated Bhagavan for 3 times, came down to the ground, sat on his feet, put its beak on Bhagavan's feet as if it was seeking Bhagavan's blessings, and then it flew away. This is written in Bhagavan's biography book. This was a recorded testimonial of people who witnessed this magical event. So, that being actually recognized who the master is, right? Now, let's move on to the next story. This one is a much more interesting one. This is by name Gajanan Maharaj. You would have seen, some of you might have seen a picture of Gajanan Maharaj holding a chillam and smoking. He always smoked the chillam. He had a dog by his side always, and he named him Motiram. He is a master from the Avaduta tradition, so it is no strange that there is a dog that follows him, right? Because we have seen Dattatreya surrounded by four dogs, each representing one Veda: Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana. Gajanan Maharaj had a dog, Motiram. He lived without possessions. He lived by the roadside, nothing. All he had was a chillam. Sometimes he did not even realize when there was a loin, tied around his waist, a dhoti tied around his waist. Nothing. It's completely consumed in his own consciousness, happily smoking chillam. And people have recorded this. They have said Gajanan Maharaj used to say, Ye Motiram, chillam leya. Means he calls the dog by name Motiram, bring me the chillam. And then the dog obediently goes, brings the chillam, gives it to Maharaj, who then lights it up and who smokes. That was the kind of connection those two people had. There is, in the same book, there is another story where Gajanan Maharaj, he saw a stray dog that was dead by the roadside. And using his powers, he brought that dog to life. We could ask this question: why did he not give a life to a king or somebody who is more powerful, or any other people who are doing things on earth, right? For a master, they do not distinguish between human form, animal form, bird form, fish form. For them, it is all equal. They know what they have to do and they deliver what they have to deliver. In this case, while a normal human eye might see a dog form there, in reality, who knows what form the dog, who is behind the form dog there? Just like how Bhagawan Nityananda identified the cobras as yogis, could have been anybody, right? But they were in the dog form. In the human chain, obviously, they are below humans, but yet a master recognized and he gave it life. You would see very similar stories in Shirdi Baba's Satcharitra as well. There was once Baba was invited for a wedding, and this person came and asked Baba, "Can you please join the wedding?" Baba said, "I will definitely come, but will you recognize me?" The person in his head assumed that Baba is talking about the physical form. He is like, "Of course, Baba, I will identify you. How will I not identify you?" And then the wedding day happened. There is a dog that comes to have food. The dog is chased away. There is a monkey that comes to have food, to grab a banana. Monkey is chased away. Another time, there is another dog that again comes there. That dog is chased away too. Then this individual to whom Baba promised I will come comes to Shirdi, comes to Baba's Dwarka Mai and says, "Baba, you broke trust. You said you are coming, but you never came. You lied to me." Baba laughingly said, "I came not once, but thrice. First time I came in the form of a dog, you chased me away. Second time I came in the form of a monkey, you chased me away. Third time I again came to you in the form of another dog, you chased me away." When you do not have a realization that I come in forms and it is me that is operating through every soul, you have not understood me. Now don't blame me for not coming. I came. You did not see. Mohanji always says, those who have eyes will see. Very, very important aspect here. We need to see every being as our own, no difference. Let's look at another story, this time of Shankar Maharaj. Shankar Maharaj's birth was again very interesting. In a very thick forest, a couple started hearing a voice, a cry of a baby. They start going towards the region where the noise was coming, the cry was coming, and they saw a baby in the middle, surrounded by tigers, and a cobra standing above the head as if it is an umbrella. Surrounded by tigers and a cobra protecting the baby, and the baby is crying. That baby is none other than Shankar Maharaj. Maharaj, whenever he has an opportunity, he escapes into the forest. He talks to tigers, he plays with cobras, he has birds coming and sitting on his shoulders, etc. One of the disciple of Shankar Maharaj asks him, "Do you know their language? Because they all seem to be very friendly to you. The same tiger, same cobra, when they look at us, they get really upset, or we get really scared." Then Maharaj said, "We both are in unison, we both are merged. When that communion has already happened, I can speak any language, I can speak their language, they can speak my language, does not matter, because we are one. We both have realized that we are one. Unfortunately, you are not realizing that you and them, they are one and the same." So, technically, it is the same soul that is operating the complete cycle that we are experiencing today. Let's come to the traditional times where my master has established various centers around the world. My master actually openly says he is more comfortable with animals. He loves spending time with animals, not to degrade the humans, but the connection which comes spontaneously, the love that overflows when we look at other being, when my master looks at the other being, Mohanji, is totally different. He says, that is one call that I cannot resist. It is purely for that selfish reason. All the people who are responsible for those individual centers of benevolence across the globe, we all have some animals. In Australia, where I stay, we have literally a mini zoo. We have rescued cows, calf, deer, peacocks, chickens, roosters, guinea fowls. We embrace the natural wild birds and kangaroos and whatnot, and dogs, everybody. Master always says you have to feed them first. As we saw in the first opening statement, the way you treat people who cannot reward you back shows your true character. He stands by example. He shows us how it is important for us to take care of each of these beings. He always says, we have to speak for them, for they cannot. Every single animal here has a story behind. It was very interesting to see how, when we had the first cow and the calf here way back in 2023, Nandini and Kamadenu, where Nandini was a 4-week calf and Kamadenu was a 1.5-year-old mum. She had the deep fear inside her that she would also be killed. The baby will be separated or taken away, just like how she had seen in the farmyard there. That made Mohanji spend few sleepless nights until they both started settling down, until they both had a space. The baby started taking mom's feet, and they both felt a little comfortable. Again, it took a year for us to build the trust with her because the trust was already broken. because of her past experiences. But as soon as that little connection happened, only then Mohanji was able to sleep peacefully here. He was so restless until she settled down. All of this alludes to one simple point, that all the beings are one. And most importantly, it is our responsibility in the current times, when we have the insensitivity skyrocketing, that we do whatever it takes on our part to preserve these beings. One practical example, as I said, was to identify your birth star, find your bird, find your animal, find your master, find the tree, and you protect that. Just do that. That is sufficient. Now, you may say, how will I do that? Because maybe a particular animal is a wild animal, or there is a bird or a tree that is not there. What can you do instead? Very simple. You will definitely find a being around you. It could be a pigeon, or it could be a fish, it could be a cow, it could be a dog or a cat, anybody, doesn't matter. Once a day, just feed them. It's not like you just throw the food at their face and then run away. No. Wait until they eat. Watch them eat. Pause and then see how they respond to you after they consumed your food. They might be fearful initially, but once they consume their food, your food, they will see in your eyes the love and the compassion. And you will see in their eyes, trust me when I say this, because I am living this every day here in our center, where we go and embrace our beings. We spend time with them. Whenever I possibly can, I go and spend time. And that unconditional love that I got from them is unparalleled. Also, even you would have noticed in your homes, if you have a pet animal, that if you fall sick, they fall sick too. Because my master always says, when a being cannot give you back, there is always an energy exchange, right? Energy has to be exchanged to nullify the karma. When a being cannot give you back, they take your stuff. I have practically experienced that. When I have a cold or a cough, when I go to the cow shed, I will see either Nandini or Kamadeno having a running nose. When I am upset with something, or I'm little agitated or whatever, I see the same reaction in my dog. She will come and she will try to pacify me or try to get me excited, because they sense your energy. They know what you are up to. And it is very, very important for us to treat all these beings equal. And most importantly, our children, the next generation, should understand the importance of these beings and how to coexist together in harmony. With that, I conclude today's session. I thank my master Brahmarishi Mohanji for being a living example for me, for showing me how to embrace with nature, how to embrace with animals, and to start connecting with them and feeling that mutual love and respect. Whatever I said, I surrender everything at his holy feet and seek his blessings. Kayena vacha, manasendhirirva, buddhyatmana va, prakrite swabhavat, karomi yadhyat sakalam parasmai, narayanayeti samarpayami. Mohanji Charanam, Sharanam Prabhatye. Thank you so much, everyone, for today's session. I hope to look forward. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow in yet another interesting subject. If you have any subject that you feel we could discuss, I'm more than happy and would love to have you as well join me, and we can definitely have that interaction. Thank you for your time. Thank you.